Yo, by Numacross 3 here, and welcome back to the Origin of Mysto. Today, we are going to be reading Chapter 4, The Time to Shine. And apparently, this is the last chapter, the final chapter of this origin story. Without any further ado, I can't speak right. Okay, anyway, let's just get this going. After entering the building, Mysto cautiously walks down a dark hallway, preparing for what's coming. Okay, I need to make sure that I don't show any arrogance. I need to get serious. After walking down the hallway for a few minutes, he suddenly comes to a stop. Jeez, I can't see a darn thing. He brings up his left hand, then bright blue energy surrounds it, illuminating his surroundings, making it easier to see. That's better. He keeps walking. He eventually finds out that the hallway has come to an end. He moves his glowing hand from side to side to try and see where he is. Huh. It seems that I'm now in a humongous room. He hears a sound that seems to be metal hitting the ground. It echoes across the dark room. Mysto's eyes begin to glow blue. He senses danger all around him. Uh-oh. I sense trouble. All of a sudden, the lights in the room switch on. Mysto looks all around him and sees that he is surrounded by 5 androids. He lets out an annoyed sigh. As he turns, Mysto notices something out of the corner of his eye that startles him. It was a huge metal dragon with large horns and razor-sharp fangs. Mysto jolts back, getting ready for an attack, but quickly notices that the dragon is not yet active. Great. Now we have a bigger problem. Literally. 3 androids charge towards Mysto. Whoa! No you don't! He power punches one of the charging androids, causing it to go flying and explode against the wall. Just then, he notices 2 androids charging him from either side. Mysto clenches his fists and lowers his head. Shockwave! A strong energy pulse causes both androids to explode almost instantly. Mysto removes his hood and lowers his mask as he looks at the last 2 androids. Okay. Now for the last 2. Without warning, both androids shoot out energy from their hands, hitting Mysto and pushing him back. Ah! Crap! He brings his hands out to push the beams back, and struggles to walk towards both droids. Stop, you frickin' pieces of junk! Mysto feels his anger rising. No! I gotta stay in control! But it was too late. Black lightning-shaped markings appear under his eyes and go down to his cheeks. His teeth begin to grow sharp. His irises and pupils transform into a pure white. Mysto begins to feel his strength increase. He starts to slowly walk forward, pushing the beams back. He snarls at the robots, then power lunges towards them, grabbing both of their heads and crushing them, making sparks fly out. Mysto breathes heavily with rage and hatred in his eyes. After reverting back to normal, he closes his eyes in shame and puts down the broken droids. I was worried that would happen again. And why was I having so much trouble with those scrapbots? It's quite simple, really. Mysto's eyes widen when he hears a voice that seems familiar. It sounds like it's coming from a speaker. He looks over to where the voice came from. It was coming from the metal dragon. The sound of revving engines filled the room. The dragon's blank dark eyes start to turn into a greenish blue. Its head slowly moves to where Mysto is. A hatch opens on the metal dragon's head. A figure emerges. It was a guy with crazy black hair, and he seemed to be wearing a white padded suit. It was Tech Psycho. I made some modifications to my androids. You! I'm putting a stop to your plans, you maniac! It's Tech Psycho to you, kid. Mysto lets out an annoyed sigh. You're seriously still calling yourself that? Of course. It has a good ring to it. Alright, enough talk. Let's just do this. Tech Psycho goes back inside the dragon head and closes the hatch. With a speak. With pleasure. The dragon expands its wings while letting out a metallic roar. Mysto prepares himself. Oh boy. Cannons start to form on both sides of the metal dragon's head. Great! What now? Before Mysto can blink, a massive amount of missiles begin shooting rapidly out of the dragon's cannons and head straight for him. Oh, frick! He turns around and tries to run at super speed to avoid the missiles pursuing from behind. Oh man. Who knows how much damage the explosions will cause on impact? Judging by the way they look, it could be enough to kill me. I need to figure something out. Mysto runs to the right. The missiles curve. His eyes widen. Run as fast as you can, magic boy. There's no escape from my heat seekers. Ah, great. Mysto looks back at the missiles and sees that one is gaining on him. Before it can hit him, Mysto dodges the missile. It hits the ground, making a small crater. 6 more come down all at once. Mysto jumps away from each missile, narrowly escaping the explosions. Whoa! Oh, God! Whoa! Mysto looks back and sees the never-ending supply of missiles behind him. This is just overkill! I gotta stop this now! He stops in his tracks and instantly turns around with his arms stretched forward. Blue gem shield! A blue energy shield appears in front of Mysto, protecting him from the barrage of missiles raining down on him. The numerous explosions were blinding and so intense that the shockwave shattered the glass ceiling above him, showering the floor with shards of glass. Wow, those things really pack a decent punch, or maybe more than that. Oh gosh dang, sorry guys. Crap! I'm out of missiles! Why won't you just die? Mysto lowers his arms, and his blue gem shield disappears. As the smoke clears, Mysto looks down at the factory floor and sees a large crater was left where his shield once was. He looks up at the metal dragon. I'm like a trick candle, he glares. I won't go out easy. That's it! I'm going to destroy you here and now! I will kill you! Oh, man, that's dark. After a split second, the giant metal dragon charges towards Mysto. Whoa! As it gets close to him, it uses its right metal claw to try and crush him. Mysto raises up his arms and catches the giant claw, barely able to push it back. The intense pressure causes the ground to break below his feet. I'm not going to be squashed like a frickin' bug! He grits his teeth as he struggles more and more to avoid being crushed by the huge claw. Frick it! What's the matter? Too much for you? Shut up! Blue gem dome! Suddenly, a blue dome-shaped energy shield begins to form around Mysto. What the? Expand! The blue dome begins to grow larger and larger, pushing the metal dragon's claw away. Now's my chance! The energy dome begins to disappear. Using his super speed, Mysto manages to zip away from the metal claw as it hits the concrete floor, making a huge claw-shaped hole. Mysto runs towards the dragon and performs a power leap. He pulls back his right fist and blue energy surrounds it. As blue energy surrounds it, yeah. Getting ready to punch the huge metal monstrosity, Mysto power punches the dragon's head. He was annoyed that there was no effect. Why am I not surprised? Before he could finish, he suddenly feels a powerful electric shock go through his body. The huge shock causes Mysto to be blown back and hit a nearby wall, destroying it and knocking the wind out of him in the process. He clutches his chest while moving away from the wall. Oh, ow, ow, ow. What was that? I had a feeling this kind of thing would happen, so I added an even better upgrade to my invention. Microchet and Zeki chemicals. Mysto had a confused look on his face. Huh? Fluids I created to reinforce the metal, which causes an electric shock to whomever or whatever strikes my awesome creation. I had to thoroughly coat the surface of my monster to withstand your blue hocus pocus. This is bad, but I can't give up. Mysto removes his hand from his chest and clutches his fists. He prepares to try another attack, but before Mysto can even step forward, out of nowhere, 10 androids land right behind him. Two of the 10 androids grab both Mysto's arms and restrain him. What? Hey! Get off me! One more android walks behind Mysto and zaps him with its arm cannon, causing him to fall to his knees. He struggles to break free. What? Why can't I get free? Those androids are my backup plan. Since you keep interfering with my plans, I had to use every last drop of my microchet and Zeki fluids, chemicals, on these androids. I was saving them for when things get too desperate. It didn't really go as to plan, but whatever. Screw you, coward! Zap him! The androids shock Mysto again. After the shock stops, he leans his head forward, wincing in pain. I'm done wasting time with you. I will destroy everyone, especially the ones you care about. Mysto's eyes widen. And there's nothing you can do to stop me. Mysto lowers his head while trying to contain his rage. I won't let you hurt others. What will you do? Blast me? With my metal dragon, it's only a light show now. You're nothing! Mysto closes his eyes tighter. I can't let my anger take over. Why not? That's the only thing that's interesting about you. In your current state, you are just a failure, a worthless kid. Shut up! The android zaps him again. After you are dead, there will be no one to stop me. I will have an endless supply of human subjects to help me test out my new weapons. Mysto can't fight it anymore. He feels his rage rising out of control. His eyes turn pure white. His teeth grow into sharpened fangs and also begin to grow. Black lightning-shaped markings begin to form under his eyes and begin to spread over his entire body. Mysto yells in pain. After a split second, a black cyclone forms around him, creating a huge shockwave, breaking the android's restraints and blowing away the rest of the androids in the process. That's it! Let it out! The cyclone disappears. Mysto's body is now completely engulfed in dark energy. He is fully enraged. He lets out a demonic roar so powerful that it shakes the building. All the androids begin to stand up. The demonic Mysto notices them and looks all around him, snarling. He lunges to a nearby android, savagely rips it in half. Another one approaches him from behind. Demon Mysto instantly turns around, plunging his arm through its chest, now holding the power source. He yanks his arm out of its chest and crushes the power source as the android falls to the ground. Two droids try to attack him from either side. Demon Mysto looks at both of them while growling. As they get near him, he grabs both of them by their heads, crushing a droid's head with his right hand and slams it into the floor, breaking it apart, causing it to explode. With his left hand, he pulls the other droid towards him. Mysto opens his mouth, showing his sharp fangs, and bites into the android's neck, ripping deeply into the internal wiring, deactivating the android. He drops the dead droid as he spits out the wires. "This is so entertaining." Mysto overhears him and prepares to jump at the metal dragon. "No, no, no. I'm not done enjoying the show." Without a warning, three androids tackle Mysto from behind, making him stumble forward. Mysto grunts, then three energy spikes from his back, energy spikes form on his back, impaling all three androids at once. As the spikes disappear, the androids drop dead on the ground. The remaining three androids surrounding Mysto in a triangle formation, and their arms begin to form into cannons. Before Mysto can even move, all three androids shoot their energy blasters at him, making him immobile. He slowly slouches forward, shaking. He growls as an unstable dark energy builds up and engulfs Mysto. The energy slowly intensifies. Tech Psycho's eyes widen. "Oh no. He's gonna blow!" Meanwhile, outside the building, Chief Ulta... Wait. "I can't wait here any longer. We need to get in there." His daughter moves in front of him. "No, Dad, please, not yet." "Rihanna, that's enough." He starts walking towards the building. "All right, people, get your weapons ready." Before he could finish, the front of the building explodes, causing debris to fly towards the onlookers. Every officer, including Rihanna and her father, all duck and cover behind their police cars to avoid being struck by the flying projectiles. When the dust settled, they are all shocked by what they see. Demon Mysto is hunched over, shaking, and around him were three androids on the ground that have been severely damaged. "What or who in God's name is that?" "I'm not sure, Dad." Tech Psycho's dragon begins to malfunction. A large amount of static electricity starts to form around the mechanical beast, looking like small strands of lightning. "No, no, no! Come on!" Mysto looks at the dragon, and as he prepares to attack, he feels something tugging at his wrists. He looks down to see one of the damaged droids grabbing him. Mysto, in his enraged state, baring his fangs, tears off the arm of the droid, tossing it aside. He closes his fist, pulls it back, and slams it into the android's head, smashing it into the ground. He turns to his left and sees another droid barely standing and straining to hold up its arm cannon. Mysto roars and savagely runs towards the droid, tackling it and driving it into the ground. In a split second, Mysto punches the android repeatedly, causing the ground to crack under the force. When he finally stops, he turns around just in time to see that the last damaged android lunge at him. Mysto growls, then grabs the droid by the chest plate. Some of Mysto's demonic dark energy begins to surround it, causing it to implode and crumpling the metal droid like a piece of paper. He releases the crippled droid, letting out a heavy sigh. Rihanna realizes who the demon is. Wait! Is that Mysto? The chief and the other officers look at her in shock. Chief Ulta quickly covers her daughter's mouth, hoping that the dark demon didn't hear her yell. But it was too late. The savage Mysto slowly turns his head, staring at the group of people, growling. Staring at the group of people growling. He turns around and charges towards them, ready to attack. All cops, including the chief, take out their weapons, preparing to shoot Mysto. Suddenly, the demon stops in his tracks and grabs his head, seemingly in pain. Everyone is baffled and confused. Mysto begins to groan. He throws his head back. His dark demonic face begins to revert to normal, but black patches of dark energy still remain. His sharp fangs start to disappear, and his glowing white eyes turn back into their bluish green color. No! Leave them alone! He reaches over to unzip his jacket pocket, sticks his hand in, and pulls out the blue mystic gem. Mysto raises his arm into the air. Blue gem dome! A solid blue energy dome surrounds Mysto, completely covering him. Everyone, including Tech Psycho, still inside his creation, is very surprised. Inside the dome, Mysto, still raising his left arm, moves the gem to his chest, closes his eyes, and begins to concentrate, searching for a way to control this dark power trying to consume him. As he slowly opens his eyes, he is confused. He's confused by what he sees. Whoa. Where did everyone and everything go? All I see is black nothingness. He looks down at himself and sees that he's no longer covered in darkness. And I'm myself again, I guess. He quickly realizes something. Wait. I think I just entered my subconscious mind.
Why do you resist?
Mysto is startled by the dark, ominous voice and quickly turns around. He could not believe his eyes. Okay, I'm gonna stop here for right now. Sorry for the flaws and stuff. And yeah. If you hopefully you liked the video, please leave a comment and subscribe. And remember, stay frosty. See you guys later!